Today is Friday, January 5th. Flex Friday on Prize Picks. Any $20 flex is protected. Last Friday, we did hit our Flex Friday, our 6 for 6 for a 25x. Hopefully, we can do the same today again. Quick recap of yesterday, we did hit our day one of the Latter Day Challenge with Kaminga and Jamal Murray's fantasy going over. We did not hit the 5-man, but it's okay. We did hit our day one top two. Today I have the day two top two, including my 6-man. So let's get started. And my top two, none other than Joel Embiid, the MVP himself, and I'll be taking his fantasy 62.5 and over. He had a ceiling of 80. Going against the Knicks, I think he's going to go well over 62.5. I actually think he's going to get bumped closer to game time. And I'm going to be pairing it with Andre Drummond, a rebound machine. And this was actually bumped. His points and rebounds was recently just bumped before I started this video at 21.5. Get his PRA at 21.5. That's what I had originally. 21.5. He averages about 2 assists a game. He's not much of a passer. Points, he usually goes over 10 points. Rebounds, you can see it for yourself in his past 5. Been averaging 15 to 18 rebounds a game. He can go off for 20 rebounds. So he can get that PRA 21.5 alone on rebounds. So I'll be taking his 21.5. I would like to take his fantasy score, but it's not posted yet. But these two are my top two for today. Joel Embiid's fantasy and Andre Drummond over PRA. Day 2 of the Latter Day Challenge. So let's get started. On the 6-man that I have, on my 6-man, I do have Andre Drummond, and I am going with Embiid. I am including the Latter Day Challenge just for the fact that I like these two props a lot today. They're not locks. I don't want to say anything that's locked. Nothing's guaranteed and gambling. But those are the two I can get closest to being a lock, should I say. But I'll be taking Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond as my first two legs for the Flex Friday. It is protected. It is a free roll, so why not include my top two picks in it. My third leg for this, I'm going to go with Colin Sexton. And there's two choices you can pick from here. You can pick his points at 16. I think he's going to go well over 16. But I'm going to be taking his fantasy score at 23.5. As he usually averages about 5-6 rebounds and a couple assists. So I'll be taking his fantasy score over as my third leg. My fourth one I'm going to go with is Jarrett Allen. And he has a repeat matchup against the Wizards. He went off on the Wizards and he covered this 44.5. It did get bumped a little. I still think he's going to get too close to 50 on his fantasy score. So I'll be taking the over on that. His last matchup against the Wizards, he had a 55. He's probably going to regress a little bit, but I think he'll still go clear at 50. So I'll be taking Jarrett Allen's 44.5 fantasy score. You can also look at his points and rebounds, but I prefer his fantasy score. Fifth one I'm taking, my fifth leg, is Derek White. And he's been a wagon, especially for fantasy score. So I'm going to be taking his fantasy score at 35. It's been slightly bumped up. It was at 34.5 this morning. It is at 35. I still like it. The only reason I'm not picking Jason Tatum or Porzingis is just for the fact that I think Boston might blow out the Utah Jazz. And if they do leave anybody on the floor, I think Derek White will get his fantasy score. So I'll be taking the over on that. The only thing we have to worry about this game, it is the blowout. But I think Derek White should stay on the floor as they'll rest Tatum or Porzingis if it does become a blowout. Same thing with Jaylen Brown. Another reason why I'm not taking him. And my last leg, it's probably going to be a surprise for some of you. I'm going to go with Simone Fontecchio. And I'm going to be taking his fantasy score. His minutes and his production has been increasing every single game. If you want to look at his fantasy score in his past 5, you can see in his past 3, he's been doubling this fantasy score. So if it does become a blowout, he is going to stay on the floor. So even if it is a competitive game, he can easily clear this on points alone. So I'll be taking his fantasy. He does get a lot of rebounds as well and a couple steals. So that helps the fantasy score, especially the steals. You can see the past couple of games, he's had 1 or 2 steals, and that helps the fantasy score. So the big reason why I'll be taking him, 17.5, that's way too low. His points, like I say, he can average about 10, 12 points, but he's been going out the past couple of games. So I'm going to be taking his fantasy score. I think this is a lot of people overlooking this prop. So I'll be taking that as in my protected play. So those are my top 6. I did include my day 2 of the ladder challenge just for the fact that I'm real confident in these two. But if you do need more props, there is 14 games today. I mean, it's a full slate. You can look at Trae Young's, Tyrese Halliburton, fantasy score. Jalen Johnson's a good option. Donovan Mitchell at 50, Capella. Other options as well is Tobias Harris is a good one. I made him in another slip at 32. As you can see, his past 5's gone over. And his past 10, he's actually gone over 8 of those 10. So this is a good option as well. I did take him on another slip that I made. Shai is always in play. Jalen Williams as well. Nicholas Claxton is a good option. And Kawhi Leonard and James Harden is a good option as well. Nicholas is a little bit too high, but of course, he has a ceiling of 70. Some of these props were just recently posted. This is a good one too, Emmanuel Quigley. Ever since he's been traded, his production's been up. So there's other options as well. It is a 14-game slate. It is Flex Friday, so you can make multiple slips today. But this is my 6-man, my top 6, which includes my day 2 of the ladder day challenge. So mix and match, pick your favorite. A lot to choose from today. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate the support. Hope you all have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys in the next one.